So here's the definition of an illogical and unintelligent, ignorant Nikon fanboy. By the way, if it sounds like there are people taking a leak in the background, that's actually the rain. It's raining really hard here. I had a lot of people that I've actually been incredibly nice to over the past several years take endless phone calls in the middle of the night. Like 4 people that I was close to, and close to in the sense that I'd field their questions about, where to buy cheap speed lights, Nikon accessories, Nikon lenses, this stuff and that stuff, and all of a sudden, after using the Nikon Z7 for a few times and reporting that it is a miserable, horrible value of a camera, all of a sudden they turned absolutely bat-crap rabid, including a blog spot. There's this guy that used to say, oh, this is a great channel, Hanger Photography. He's always telling people cheap lenses to buy. And then after I said that the Nikon Z7 was an abysmal, overpriced failure, which it is, then all of a sudden then I'm, the biggest fraud on planet Earth, which all of that is fine. I never cared about, who hated me or one way or the other. The point is that these people are fools, not because they're upset, because they probably bought the camera. And they're upset that I said, this camera is an overpriced POS. And it is. It's Nikon's first entry into the mirrorless market. The design is kind of poor. It was designed, and it is well designed, well built. It's made in Japan. Unfortunately, it was built by a handful of Japanese tech nerds inside of like a locked basement somewhere. They didn't actually consult with a lot of people, and there's a lot of design implementations that are incorrect. There's insufficient command dials. The autofocus sucks. Can't screw drive lenses. There's a lot of issues with the Nikon Z7, but it's the first generation. Sony's first generation mirrorless camera had a lot of deficiencies. Fujifilm's first X-T1 camera, which I owned, it had a lot of things. I mean, if you compare the Fujifilm X-T1 compared to the X-T2, and the X-T2 is like worlds better. And the X-T3, I can't say it's worlds better, but it's a lot better than the X-T2 is. So I'm fair in that assessment. My question to these stupid, ignorant, and unintelligent Nikon fanboys, and a fanboy is someone just like, Nikon made it, it's awesome. It's like, really? I never played that game with any company. I've criticized Fuji for some stupid stuff that they've done, and criticized Nikon for being an insanely arrogant company that they really are. They have an IBM mentality straight from the pits of hell. I never said that the image output from the Nikon Z7 was horrible. I never said it was going to raid your refrigerator and perform satanic rituals in your basement while you're asleep. I never made any such statements about the Nikon Z7. The same thing is said by all of these fanboys that have been flinging poo at me for the past few weeks. And they said, it's a great camera. My statement to you is, compared to what, damn it? Damn it, just tell me compared to what? Compared to a Nikon D850? Absolutely no way in hell. Not a snowflake's chance in hell. I don't care if you're mad at me. It's like, what the hell is your problem, girlfriend? I've owned and do own more Nikon cameras than all of these people complaining about me combined. Easily over 350 Nikon lenses. I got Nikon permanently tattooed on my hand for the rest of my life, however long that is. I grew up loving Nikon. I grew up using Nikon. I still love Nikon. I never said, I came out with that Z7. I'm going to sell my Nikon. You hear all these people, I'm going to switch systems, man. I'm going to, I'm just going to sell all my shit and switch to so-and-so system. I've never said any sort of crap like that. It doesn't hurt me that people actually, are upset at me for, attacking. It's just a damn camera, for God's sakes, It's not like we're talking about someone's children being ugly. The fact is that there's like 5 or 6 such people that I've been incredibly helpful to, answering phone calls in the middle of the night, given stuff to, been overtly kind. But because I'm not a bootlicker for Nikon, let me repeat that statement, bootlicker. I'm not a bootlicker for Nikon. They don't give me a damn thing. I said, listen, this is Nikon's first entry into the mirrorless market. It has a lot of sucky issues. The same thing as everybody else's first generation mirrorless camera. They want as much for this damn camera as a Nikon D850. And mirrorless and DSLRs compete for the exact same market. They're, anybody with 10 brain cells that knows what the hell a D850 is would not buy this camera. Would not. I mean, knowing what I know, if I had a choice, which would you rather buy, you fat, tattooed, bald asshole? This new, both of them are the same price, right? You both have them, both $100. Let's just ignore price. New Sony A7 III, which has got quite a few problems itself. I mean, let's face it, it's a Sony. Would you rather have this new Sony A7 III or A7R III? That's the most expensive camera. Or the Nikon Z7. Well, I know what the Nikon Z7 is, and I know some of the issues and bugs related to the Sony A7R III, but I'll take the Sony A7R III because even though Sony is a consumer electronics company and not a camera company, and I really kind of despise Sony for many countless valid objective reasons, I'll actually take the Sony camera, please, over the Nikon Z7. I love Nikon to death. I own 12 Nikon DSLR cameras and hundreds of their lenses. I still do love Nikon, but I'm not taking that underdeveloped first generation POS. I hope you know what POS means. It stands for piece of shit. So my question to these Nikon fanboys that have been so incredibly rude. I had a guy today. I was like, that's the last straw. I'm going to make a video. Like this video, don't like it, I don't care. It's truthful. A guy I've been incredibly nice to. Incredibly nice to. Oh, he just had a hissy fit on me. Just no reason. Like, I saw that video you did on the Nikon Z7. I'm so upset at you. You're a dirty bleeping bleep, and it's a wonderful camera. Compared to what, my friend? Compared to what? Compared to what? Please tell me, compared to what? The Nikon Z7 is one thing exactly. It is a mirrorless version of a Nikon D5000 level camera, plain and simple. Yes, it does have an amazing sensor in it, BSI sensor, high megapixel. I never said that it took bad images. I never said that at all. I said it's got a lot of design deficiencies and inferior autofocus that countless people have reported upon. Even his name is Dirk. He's the European manager for Nikon, and I posted a video link on my Instagram, and somebody else did a video interview. Dirk Jenner. His first name is Dirk. And he's the president of Fujifilm Europe. And even he said his exact words, we were not so much developing the Nikon Z7 for professionals. Well, no shit, it's got one card slot and inferior autofocus. If you price the Nikon Z7 for like $2,200 or $2,300, I mean, I would have sold the shit out of the camera. You know what else, my friends? Nikon fanboys, irrelevant and unintelligent ones. I've talked to two huge major retailers of photographic gear recently, within the past 4 days. I says, hey, how are those Nikon Z7 sales going? Well, when it first started selling on the first few days, we sold quite heavily on them. Yeah, those are just people who just want to buy the latest, greatest product. I got to buy the latest, greatest thing from Nikon. I said, well, yeah, I know that always happens with every camera. I said, what about now? Yeah, we got a lot of them. They're not moving. They're not moving. Let me repeat that quote for you. They're not moving. It's because people that are not irrational, irrelevant Nikon fanboys that have their head permanently planted someplace dark. No, yeah, for the same amount of money, I'm going to buy the superior camera with 2 card slots and better autofocus, the Nikon D850. STFU. I think you know what that stands for. Bye.